She hardly ever saw her parents. Alexander Dumas had to flee to Switzerland, otherwise he would have been arrested. The beautiful actress would arrive between performances in a fancy carriage, but those visits were few and far between. Marie-Alexandrine Dumas spent her early childhood with nannies and governesses. Throughout her short life, she longed for genuine, true love. Marie-Alexandrine was born in the first half of the 19th century in Paris. Although her parents' names were well known, the birth certificate had them crossed out. This was because Alexander Dumas and the actress Mélanie Serra were not legally married. The rising playwright, at that time, Dumas was writing plays rather than novels, had no intention of limiting his freedom. However, he was fond of Mélanie, so he agreed to her request to acknowledge their daughter. Thus, the girl received a surname. But that recognition meant little. Mélanie was eager to perform, to shine and captivate audiences, while Dumas was just as busy with public affairs as he was with writing. Marie-Alexandrine was sent to a wet nurse, and then she had nannies. Meetings with her parents were so rare that the girl forgot their faces. With no formal ties, Dumas and Mélanie's relationship began to fade. Alexander traveled extensively and worked tirelessly. He had the idea of recreating the history of France in a series of novels. During this time, he had many fleeting romances, but only one woman managed to lead him to the altar, another actress, Ida Ferrier. At 29, she was attractive and intelligent, and she had no objections to Dumas's illegitimate daughter living with them. For the first time, Marie-Alexandrine had a real family. Her father was kind and affectionate, while her stepmother was so caring and loving that Marie-Alexandrine called her nothing less than "Dear Mommy." Soon, Dumas brought his older child, Alexander, into their home. This boy was born under the same circumstances as his sister, resulting from Dumas's brief infatuation. The only difference was that the writer did not want to acknowledge his son. However, the idyllic situation did not last long. Just 4 years later, Dumas separated from Ida Ferrier. Various reasons were cited: Dumas's own flirtatious nature or Ida's revealed relationship with another man. But it was Marie-Alexandrine who suffered the most from the breakup. With youthful uncompromisingness, she accused her father. "It's you and your affairs." All of Paris knew that the author of The Three Musketeers, which had just been published, couldn't resist any attractive woman. The resourceful Dumas displayed incredible business acumen. He worked tirelessly, soon opening his own theater and a newspaper called The Musketeer. His income became enormous, and he even bought an entire estate. But Dumas spent lavishly as well, to the point where he had to run from creditors. Marie-Alexandrine, like many young women of her time, finished her schooling and unexpectedly discovered a talent for painting. Dedicating much of her time to this pursuit, she also took on a part-time role at her father's newspaper. She created sketches for Dumas's articles and memoirs, trying her hand at the popular genre of caricature that was all the rage across the channel. And, of course, she met the writer's secretary, Pierre-Alain Pétel. The young man, 6 years her senior, began to court Marie-Alexandrine. At first, she didn't take him seriously. "I'm the daughter of the musketeer," she joked. "I serve more than I love." But love has a way of surprising us, and Marie-Alexandrine ended up marrying Pétel. Her modest husband struggled to provide for the family, but Dumas helped the young couple out. He financed their travels through Italy, Spain, and the Middle East. Pierre and Marie-Alexandrine spent nearly 4 years on the road, each engrossed in their passions. The daughter of the musketeer sketched, while her husband wrote travel notes and stories. Were the laurels of her former patron haunting him? Pierre had talent, which was acknowledged at the newspaper. However, their travels took on a darker tone. Marie-Alexandrine read her husband's writings and shuddered. There was so much gloom, depravity, and almost madness in them. Pierre's behavior also began to change, showing clear signs of mental instability. The young couple started to argue, and Pierre turned into an unbearable tyrant, prompting Marie-Alexandrine to pack her bags. She found refuge in a convent and filed for divorce from there. But in the 19th century, escaping the bonds of marriage wasn't straightforward. Marie-Alexandrine's request to end the untenable union was denied. Her husband refused the divorce but agreed to live separately. So Marie Alexandrine turned to Dumas, who granted her permission to live under his roof. In her father's home, Marie Alexandrine found peace of mind, which immediately reflected in her creativity. She began to write extensively and publish novels, while also working on sketches that she successfully exhibited in galleries. She became a support for her father, and he was a loyal friend with whom she could discuss anything. Together, they traveled and continued publishing the newspaper. Marie Alexandrine didn't seek new familial happiness. Anatole France noted about her, she seems to mimic nuns in their attire. But she had her father, and that was enough for the young woman. Before his death, Dumas fell gravely ill. His daughter cared for him, even though the writer's temperament had soured over the years. Yet he gave her strength and the motivation to carry on. Thus, Marie Alexandrine outlived him by only 8 years. She spent her last years quietly and almost unnoticed, occasionally meeting with her brother. By the way, he married to the socialite Nadezhda Ivanovna Narishkina, named his eldest daughter after his sister, Marie Alexandrine.